Hey fifth grade, welcome back to our virtual classroom. Looking a little bit different than normal today. I don't think I've ever taught a lesson in sunglasses, but this beautiful weather has got the best of me. Hopefully you have already seen lesson 1, watched the video, done the work, and sent me the email. I've gotten a lot in so far, so thank you so much to all of you that have sent those in. If you haven't done lesson 1, pause, go back, do lesson 1, and then come back to this video for lesson 2. We are continuing our poetry unit. We'll be going over the answers from the TDQs from lesson 1 for the poem Masks, which I also posted on my teacher Instagram, which is Miss Bryant Teaches. So check me out on there if we're not already connected. It's been really fun to connect with some of you again. And yes, we'll go over these answers. I've got a short video for you to watch, and then we will hit the ground running with our next poem. Can't wait. Okay, so again, going with the flow here, trying to figure out virtual teaching. I am going to display these questions again and go over the correct answer. If you have questions about why an answer is correct, please shoot me an email, let me know, and we can talk more about it. Or if you would like to try to defend your answer for something else, then I would love to hear your reasoning. All right, so TDQ 1, Part A says, covered up here. Which statement best explains the metaphorical meaning of blue skin in the poem? The correct answer for TDQ 1 is C. In the poem, blue skin represents a quality that people are afraid to share, even though it is an important part of their identity. Okay, moving right along to TDQ 2, which is Part B. Which quote from the poem best supports the answer to Part A? The correct answer is B, kept it hid, because we know that our characters in this poem are hiding that part of their identity. Okay, next TDQ. TDQ 3. How does the illustration contribute to the meaning of the poem? The correct answer for TDQ 3 is A. The size of the masks in the illustration emphasizes how hard people try to hide their true selves. I love this, fifth grade. I think that this is so relevant as we try to figure out who we are in this world, right? And try to figure out where we fit in the world and how we interact with the world. I think that this is so applicable to our real lives. Okay, for TDQ 4, your answers could really vary. It was not a multiple choice question. And it asked, how do the last 4 lines help develop the message of the poem? Okay, so like I said, it could really vary. Those last 4 lines, let's go ahead and read those though. They searched for blue their whole life through. They passed right by and never knew. So what we see in these last 4 lines is that the individuals that this poem is about, at the beginning, we see how it's talking about their identity and how they're hiding it. But then the second part of the poem, those last 4 lines really show us how those two have a missed connection, right? They both have this hidden identity that's the same as one another, at least an aspect of their identity, but they try so hard to hide it that the other one doesn't see it. But imagine had they both seen it in each other. Imagine the friendship or relationship that could have developed there if they knew that they both had the same hidden quality. It's pretty special. All right, so again, varying answers for TDQ 5. It's a little bit confusing because they were listed 1 through 4 and then 1 through 3, but the second one should be number 5. And it read, in the poem, the 2 characters hide their blue skin from others. In your opinion, why do they hide this quality? Now this is an opinion piece, so this is going to be drawing from your own understanding of identity in the world around you and yourself and others and how all of those things interact. And please make sure that in your response you really help me to understand your thinking, because the way that I perceive the world and my experiences are going to be different from yours. Okay, so I want to understand your process there. Let's go ahead and move on to TDQ 6. TDQ 6 reads, based on your own experiences, do people in the real world feel pressured to be just like everyone else? Have you ever pretended to be a certain way in order to fit in? If so, how did you pretend? All right, this is where our answers will be very different from one another and very private, don't worry. And I'm really looking for that application, okay? If you don't want to spill your heart out to me, that's fine, but help me understand the answers to these questions for you of why you might think someone would try to hide who they are to fit in and how they might pretend to do that, okay? So please make sure you answered all of those. I tried to really hit that in the last video, that these multi-part questions, that's an area for growth for us. A lot of times when you've got 3 questions in one, I'm seeing answers to only one of those questions, and there's a reason all 3 of them are there. They're connected, and we need to develop our answers to encompass the answers of all 3 questions in one. Alrighty? And finally, TDQ 7. How does this poem help you think about what it means to be a good friend? Now, some of you may have read that and thought at first, that's random. We're talking about identity. Now, why is this question all of a sudden asking us about being a good friend? But there's a strong connection to the way that you perceive yourself and the way that you perceive others. Okay, so I want you to think hard about this one. Maybe even elaborate on your answer. Go back and ask yourself, because how many of you want to be a good friend? I hope all of you. And how many of you want a good friend? I know all of you. And so the way that the 2 individuals in this poem interact or don't can really teach us a lot about what it means to be a good friend and how our identity can kind of shape that. Again, I shared with you all how I tried to change part of my identity or hide part of my identity in order to be accepted by certain people at one point in my life, and it changed the way that I treated those around me, and not for the best. It was not the true way that I would want to treat my friends. So for me, this is a very near and dear question and whole thought process, and something I really hope that you've taken time to sit in and think about empathy and sympathy and all of that. So on that note, I actually am going to attach a link down below for you to watch, maybe with your parents or family members, siblings, cousins, whoever, maybe just on your own, and it's going to describe the difference between empathy and sympathy. All right, so I would love for you to watch that. I would love for you to dig into that a little bit more, take some notes, and you can include your thoughts on that, your response to that, 1 paragraph, it's only a couple minutes long, in your email that you'll send to me, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and have you watch a video on symbolism from our favorite vocabulary, and then I'll explain to you why we are watching that video, why symbolism is important in our poetry unit and with this poem, and then we're gonna hit it to the next one.
Esperanza Cordero, growing up in Chicago. Symbolism everywhere that I go. Check it. Yo, okay, something that stands for something else is a symbol. We see them all around. Some are universal, everybody knows them. Hearts mean love, skull and crossbones poison. When we read, there's a lot more context, and every story has brand new content. So the same thing can have multiple meanings, like rain can mean sadness or mean new beginnings. But symbols aren't just metaphors, not a simple comparison, they need more. A metaphor says her tears were raindrops. If rain's a symbol, we'll see a storm in the plot. And authors use symbols on purpose to make their writing go way beneath the surface. Analyze images that repeat. Motifs tell you something about the mood and the theme.
There may be something underneath the surface of words as you read. Don't be shallow, you must go deep to uncover some hidden themes. And you should know that anything could be a key symbol.
Okay, here's a book house on Mango Street, full of symbolism, bursting at the seams. Houses, shoes, and hair all repeat to build themes about Chicana identity and American dreams. Let's take a deeper look at houses. Esperanza says the house here is ours, but it's not the house we thought that we'd get. Windows so small you think they're holding their breath. No front yard, no stairs. Tiny bedrooms that have to be shared. It wasn't quite what her parents had hoped for. One day she'll have a different house with so much more. The house represents poverty and unfulfilled dreams on Mango Street. It's their own, but not much to see. The house isn't just a house, a theme's underneath.
There may be something underneath The surface of words as you read. Don't be shallow, you must go deep to uncover some hidden things, and you should know that anything could be a key symbol. Yeah, symbolism.
All right, 5th grade. Good to be back with FlowCab, right? Even if it is a video through a video. But symbolism. All right, so here is question 1, not necessarily a TDQ. What is symbolism? Based on what you just watched, maybe your prior knowledge, what is symbolism? And how, 2-part question, how is it used in the poem Masks? Okay, what is symbolism? How is it used in Masks? There's your first question that you will include in your email, in addition to your response to the video. So symbolism is something that we see a lot of in poetry. We see a lot of it specifically in music and different songs that you may listen to, which is also full of all kinds of imagery and personification and metaphors and similes. So I hope that you're able to recognize those things and remember back to the different types of figurative language that we've studied together and that you've studied in your classes previously before coming to my ELA class. So with that, today we actually get to take a little bit of a look at a portion of a song, a piece of poetry by a little someone named Tupac Shakur, and this was written in 1989. I love this. I think it's so beautiful and meaningful, and the title of it is called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. So I'm going to post this for you and we'll read through it and get going. Okay, the rose that grew from concrete. Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared. Beautiful words there by Tupac. And I want you to go back to that first question I asked you at the beginning of lesson 1. And I want you to think about significant details about creating or forging an identity that you can draw from that poem that we just read, okay? So if you need to rewind, go back, go for it. But tell me some of those significant details that you see in this poem about creating an identity, all right? Okay, we're gonna quickly go through these TDQs. If at any point you need to pause, go ahead and do that. Here we go, TDQ 1. It is listed as 1 Part A. Which of the following identifies a main theme of the text? A, all living things need support from others in order to grow. B, we must learn and grow from our failures. C, people can overcome difficulties and succeed. D, nature can overcome problems better than people. TDQ 2, which is listed as 2 Part B. Which detail from the poem best supports the answer to Part A? A, did you hear about the rose that grew? B, learn to walk without having feet. C, long live the rose that grew from concrete. D, when no one else ever cared. TDQ 3. How does the speaker's point of view influence how the rose is described? A, curious about the rose, the speaker asks several questions about it. B, believing that the rose is not real, the speaker exaggerates its qualities. C, feeling pity for the rose, the speaker lists all of the hardships it has faced. And D, impressed by the rose, the speaker explains what makes it so admirable. TDQ 4. What does the phrase, the rose that grew from concrete, mean figuratively as used in this poem? So looking back at symbolism, what does this whole concept mean? Okay, next TDQ 5. In the context of the poem, how does an individual rise above hardship? Multi-part question, get ready for it. Have you ever felt like a rose that grew from concrete, as described by Tupac Shakur? If so, what was the difficult situation that you faced, and how did you rise above it? If not, who is someone else you might describe as a rose that grew from concrete? What makes them similar to this rose? This is a long question, 5th grade, so you know I'm going to be looking for a long response here. Thorough, okay? This isn't something that you're going to be able to answer in 1, 2, even 3 sentences, so dig in. TDQ, what is this, 6? In the context of the poem, can we take full control over our own fate? Do you think it is necessary to get support from others, or can we succeed in difficult situations on our own without others' help? All right, we have an opinion question here. Give me a nice thorough answer, full of explanation as to why you chose what you did. TDQ 7. Why do you think dreams are important for the rose's survival? What dreams do you have for your own future? Are these dreams important to you? Why or why not? All right, so 5th grade, we're really hitting hard on these multi-part questions. Please take the time to dig in and answer them fully. I know you've got lots of free time right now, so use it wisely, and let's dig in, okay? Okay, 5th grade, it's been real working with you on lesson 2, sitting outside in my sunglasses, making the most of quarantine. But I hope you all are doing well. I hope you are enjoying learning a little bit more about poetry. I would love for you to also include in this email that you send to me at kara.bryant@mmps.org that you also include another poem. All right? Get creative, have fun with it, and yeah, I will see you all soon for lesson 3. Have a fabulous weekend.